Hello, this is Purge, bringing you guys another video of me wrapped inside a blanket and talking about Dota. I know that's why you're here. I feel nice and warm and cozy, and I hope you are too. Gonna play Quap this game. Quap is recently buffed. I don't think I play Quap very often. In fact, I think she's one of my mid heroes that I have a really negative win rate on her. I genuinely do. I think I lose a lot more games than I win on Queen of Pain. But I didn't check before I started this video if I had not played a Queen of Pain game in a while, so I'm going to go back to the top of the page. Last one was 13th of November, so like a month and a half ago. So, whatever, I'm going to make another one. Here we are, going at it. Queen of Pain has changed in a couple ways, and she's quite a bit stronger than she was before. And, you know, it's not just like quite a bit stronger, she just feels a lot stronger. She still has some issues, which I will run into like a brick wall a couple times in this video, but she also has a lot of good positives, and she feels a lot stronger, and that's also really important too when you're playing a hero. Her changes are that her blink range is now 1300 distance at all levels. In the past it was like 700 at level 1, so it's like a double distance blink at level 1. The downside is that the cooldown is higher, and then as the game goes on, I believe the cooldown goes back to what it used to be, down to 6 seconds at level 4. So her blink range is massive compared to what it was in the past. The other really cool change is that her ultimate now does pure damage at all levels, and it goes through BKB at all levels, which is a huge buff to Quap. It is a huge buff. The reason this is amazing is because in the past, Queen of Pain runs into a lot of trouble when you're against Black King bar heroes, because you don't necessarily know when to ulti, or you have to initiate and ulti before they get anything off. And if they do pop their BKBs first, you end up spending a lot of time standing around the fight being like, should I go in? And it kind of puts you in a bad place, because as soon as they get BKBs, your hero falls off pretty hard. In the flip side, her snowball ability is amazing, and it always has been, but the problem is that if you die once, you lose a lot of momentum, because if they do get BKBs, you kind of have to be like an item ahead of people, and that's obscene, because it's like 4,000 gold, right? You need like a lot of gold to be able to stay so far ahead of somebody that you can continue snowballing on Queen of Pain, where you transition from like treads into like a utility item, like a sheep or a orchid, and then you transition to maybe like the other one, the sheep or the orchid that you didn't get, or a BKB or an eggs, and then afterwards you get like a damage item, and then you become like a ranged blinking magic nuking carry. But you have to do super well to play like that, and you have to get a lot of kills. So I had some themes of that this game, but I also had some themes of Queen of Pain hitting brick walls, and I can talk about all those as we approach them. I think Queen of Pain is really fun to play, but I'm not the best at her is part of the problem. So here it is. Gonna start with a null talisman and a tango. I could have had my allies pull me some tangos maybe, but I'm against a Pudge here. So what I actually did was, I was like, I've had some games where I play against a Pudge and I trade a lot of HP and I kill him, but then I have no regen left over. So I thought that it might be better if I just went really heavy regen this game. So I pretty much got about the same items. The only difference is I have 3 less damage, and I don't have a completed null talisman yet. But I have an extra salve, which is pretty nice to have. So I have double the regen. I can basically make sure that the Pudge doesn't get any last hits, and I can decrease his EXP gain essentially, while also giving myself a ton of farm. So that's what I'm planning to do this game. I actually really don't like most Queen of Pain cosmetics. I have a couple, but I think a lot of them make her look really bad. There's one cool wing set, but it's a Chinese Perfect World server one. I think it costs about $30, so it's pretty expensive and not worth me picking up. But yeah, your purpose as a hero, as a Queen of Pain, is to do really well in the mid lane. She has really good base damage. As you can see, I'm like 53 average just from the base, plus I have some damage items. In addition to that, she has decent movement speed at 300, but most importantly, you have a blink. So you're really mobile, you can run control, you have AoE, so you can run control, and you also have a harass tool in your first skill. It's called Shadow Strike. You cast it on your opponent, it does a initial damage and some damage over time, kind of like Venomous Gale, and it slows them a lot at first, and then it decreases as time goes on. So against melee heroes especially, if they come up to last hit, you can dagger them and usually right-click them about 3 or 4 times, which is huge harass, because if that's not returned, you're going to have a bad time. So against melee heroes, Queen of Pain is fantastic. So if you're against a Pudge or something like that, Queen of Pain is pretty much the ideal hero that you can have to outlane him. Something like Storm Spirit can work as well, but make sure that you at least run at your opponents, and I do that sometimes. I don't like my camera positioning here. I wish that it was more focused on where the Pudge was. Like right here, this is where my camera should be sitting at all times when I mid, and I kept like readjusting too far. But it's good to kind of approach him once in a while, just to like make him think that you're going to come after him, just because it gives you a better chance of getting the last hits. I didn't do that very well. No big surprise. I actually only have one last hit out of the first 4. I got 2 out of 4. That's terrible. Against a Pudge, you should get all 4. Especially if you're zoning him like this. I think I ended up last hitting a little bit better later, but my first wave was not very good. Or was that? Makes it a little harder when you have 2 range creeps as well, but still unacceptable.
First blood.
Putting a couple hits on him is always good. I checked his items. I think he had a stout shield. Did he have just 1 tango? Oh, he actually does have a salve and a tango, so he kind of bought out pretty heavily with his stout shield. I don't think that's going to make that big of a difference. It is blocking some of my right-click damage and all, but even if I can just throw a dagger and right-click him once, it's still pretty okay. Yeah, I'm like moving my camera way too much in this game. Let's take a look at the last hits here. Pudge actually already got 3, so he must have gotten like most of the ones under his tower. So I wanted to go for this last hit, but it's kind of dangerous. Oh no, I actually did do it. I'm thinking of a different time. That one was okay. Almost got my bottle. Got a rune coming up. Don't necessarily have to go for it just yet. Again, continue to lessen, deny everything. Once in a while, it's good to go on the high ground just to check to see where your opponent is, because you're expecting a hook. Pudge's hook range has increased to level 1. I wasn't sure if I was going to get that one, so I thought I would just use Scream to harass on the same vein. Did a little bit of damage to him, not a huge amount. I think if he had like a typical mid hero and I didn't have a Queen of Pain, he would have had a lot better of a time in the mid lane. Obviously the CS is stupidly, I have 17 last hits, 11 denies, he has 3 last hits. That's what it should be like every time that you play against a Pudge, basically. Especially if you're playing Queen of Pain, you need to guarantee that they don't get a lot of farm, basically. I decided to buy the null recipe here first because I wasn't going to have space for boots otherwise. And again, coming on the high ground, I'm happy to do a screen and a dagger. A scream and a dagger, excuse me. Oops, messed that one up. Could have gotten an extra right click there, I think. Look at that range, isn't it beautiful? And I had a regen to pop. I maybe could have saved it until I got 120 mana, or I could have popped the regen and then scream the next wave to get a free scream out of it, so I think I could have done that a little better, but I don't know if that did a whole lot of salve damage or anything, but it did a little bit. Pudge is still sitting on 3 last hits, which is terrible for a mid hero. But it's pretty expected if you play Pudge that that's what you're going to run into. As long as he's not getting the farm, I'm fairly happy. The scary part with Pudge is that with levels, with kills, you end up catching up a lot in terms of net worth. I'm sure his net worth is terrible right now. He's at 900, I'm sitting at 2k. So I'm about 1,000 ahead of him, which is huge. And this is basically how you play Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain's actually really good against Pudge, so maybe this video is good for this as well. If you ever have trouble against Pudge, just practice how to play Queen of Pain, okay? Or at least practice how to lane her better, and you'll be having an okay time. Kind of wanted to throw a dagger on him here. I was expecting his hook, but I blinked a little bit too late, unfortunately. Did have a rune at the top rune, so it actually did nothing to me, essentially. Other than use my blink cooldown, which is going to be on cooldown for a while. And here come the items. Oh, I messed up the courier transfer. Get my boots here. I don't think I did. I think I messed it up a few times. Oh wait, I did. Okay, good. Alright, and now I got my ulti. So what the ulti does, it does pure damage. It was also buffed in damage. It was like a slight buff in damage, like 50 or 90 damage after reduction. So it does a little bit more. Decided to TP to the bot lane because I had a haste rune. I like doing this if I have haste because, especially with Quap, because Quap is a very mobile hero. So I'll pop the haste, I'll move forward a little bit. I told them to initiate. That was actually really bad by me. I should have hit 2 people with that. I focused a lot on killing the Dragonite there, but I should have been able to catch the Crystal Maiden as well, and that would have made the gank a little bit easier. So no reason not to aim for 2 people. Like if I'm the one initiating and his hero is stunned, like I might as well go for it. Now this is a little tough because if he hooks me, I kind of have a bit of trouble. But I wanted to chase because I had the haste. If I had a little bit more mana, I think this would have gone amazing. I also think I should have blinked right on top of him there. I actually blinked, oh, and I missed like a couple attacks here. That was like 2 attacks that I missed that I maybe could have killed him. Bit of a mistake. And even this walk was a little scary. Luckily he did not hook me. I'm still stupidly far ahead in last hits. I have about 30 at 6 minutes, which is okay. Considering I got a double kill gank off, I think my last hitting is okay at this point. Shouldn't have to worry too much. I should have been better about rune controlling. I almost never check the runes at 6 minutes because I don't play mid enough. But making sure that you know what runes are there is really important. At this point, I was like, oh, it's a double damage. That's really good. And then now I can make the decision. But if anybody was like competent on the enemy team, they would have been able to shift and guarantee that they got that rune and not me. You have to be kind of ahead of the curve a little bit. So this is a time where you kind of run into trouble as Queen of Pain. Your mana's kind of low. You get a good rune which you want to use to kill, but you don't really have enough mana to be able to leverage the DD or the haste rune or whatever. And in times like these, I personally like going back to base sometimes to heal up because it's better to use the runes to get kills than it is to get farm with them. And Blitz has said a similar thing to me before. He's like, it's better off to guarantee that you get something good out of the rune than it is just to get the mana and stuff, because you can get mana really easily from the base. I also should be flying out my treads very shortly. Treads is always going to be the choice that you want on Queen of Pain because it increases your attack speed. Your hero has good right click damage. She has really good mobility, so you can always position yourself to right click enough. So I really recommend getting treads on this hero. I'm going to go back to heal shortly with my... I have to be a little careful because I don't have blink mana, so if I get hooked here, it's a little dangerous. And this is the moment that I was talking about before where I was like, I don't really feel safe walking forward here, so I'm just going to get treads. I just ignored that last hit, basically. So I'll fly a TP scroll out to me. I think I did end up using my DD here because I was getting good farm and I really didn't want to go back to base. But Pudge still has terrible last hits, which is not to be unexpected. Usually Pudges do a little bit better than this, but this guy played really safe. He played really, really safe. And max out blink second, always. You want the cooldown to go much lower, especially right now, because the cooldown at level 1 is so stupidly high at 15, so... Unfortunately, the courier flew out without my treads. That was unfortunate. And I'm going to go stack a camp. This is maybe a waste because I had the DD here. I could have guaranteed I get a lot more last hits, but it was okay. And against a Pudge, it's really good if your supports are proactive and they get... oh, that was so unfortunate. That was my fault for screaming early, though. I had a DD. My HP wasn't that high, though, so in some ways, I think my movements were okay. I did get him dead for about 15 seconds. That's going to further hurt his net worth. And he does lose gold from that, but getting a kill obviously would have made a big difference there for me. So. So Rune's gone as well, so I'm going to shift to the bot lane instead. Just a little too bad that I didn't kill him there. Again, he still was dead for all. His net worth is stupidly low. Considering this is their mid hero, he's tied with like all of my supports. Essentially, and I'm completely out of mana at this point, so I'm just gonna go back. So. Just really wishing that I was in this fight, but unfortunately no mana, no TP. The net worth of the Dragon Knight's actually really high because I think he's getting kills, if I'm not mistaken. More than he has 6 kills at this point, which is actually ridiculous. I can't believe he had this many kills at this point. When you have treads, another good thing about treads is that if you have bottle, you should be always switching to agility treads whenever you're bottling up, because your regen will go a little bit farther. And before I leave the map, I'm going to get another TP. And I actually opted to buy a wand here. Getting a wand is not always the right decision, because it kind of, it doesn't scale as late. I'm going to go try to get a kill here. I was telling him to stun. I just need the Sven to stun, basically, because it guarantees my setup. It'll guarantee my scream and my ulti. You don't have to do it like that. I gave him a little bit of regen here as well, because I wanted to make sure his AG maybe survived, but... It's really... There we go. That ulti was a lot better than the last one.
You died well enough.
The last sound you've ever heard.
To be a little careful here. I should have just blinked there. I actually ran towards the Pudge, so I made it a lot easier for him to hook me there. But him hooking me there was huge. Let's check the net worth now. He all of a sudden went from probably like 1,500 net worth, or maybe 2k net worth. He got like 600 gold from that kill on me. Probably from the Sven as well, but that was like huge catch-up kills. That actually blew my mind right here. I had 50 CS, I denied 17 times, I had 4 kills and 1 assist, And the Pudge only had 2 kills in 14 CS, and he was a higher level than me. I like actually couldn't believe it that he was a higher level. He spent a lot more time soloing in his lane. Plus the 2 heroes he killed were like some of the higher levels in the game. It was me and the Sven. But I couldn't believe that that happened, and I was really upset that I let him hook me there. That was really too bad. But that was my fault. I shouldn't have let him hook me. My ulti was pretty good though. I caught 2 heroes. It's really good against Dragonite because it does pure damage. Especially because if he does end up going... This is a little scary. I wanted to go for a kill here. I thought that they were going to be silly enough to stay. I was like, oh, they're going to stay. And I was like, oh, what's this? That's right. Make sure you tread switch if you know you're taking damage. That's pretty dangerous actually because I was right under tower. If there's any other hero here, I definitely would have died. So that's kind of an example of playing Quap really dangerously. I thought the CM was just chasing way too far here. Plus we had a TP in, so... And then we saw the push, and I knew I was dead here. That's pretty much the issue. If you blink into danger, you're gonna die as Queen of Pain. She doesn't have that much survivability, so you have to be really careful about when you decide to initiate. That was the wrong time. I thought that was gonna be a really easy CM kill, but instead the Pudge happened to be there, and I gave him a lot more net worth. He probably got about, yeah, it looks like he jumped about 800 net worth again. That's kind of why Pudge is semi-okay now, because he can get so much experience advantage just from being in the right place at the right time. But it's really frustrating for me because I was like, God, I like owned him in the lane. I had a stupid amount of last hits and denies, and this guy gets like a couple kills, and now he's doing all right. So that was frustrating. I was checking my my number totals. I wanted to get a bit closer to him before I decided to go for the combo. Good to sit. It's good to sit on strength treads here. I should be bottling up here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Did catch the CM here as well. That was not the corner that CM wanted to run into. So that was a good kill at least. I got some cleanup from that. And also all the experience and stuff that I'd given the Pudge before has slightly been thrown back to me, which is kind of useful. I don't expect there to be a rune. Yeah, it's 13 minutes. There's a very low chance of there being a rune, but the Dragonite's actually just destroying the bot lane. I couldn't believe it.
Structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm building eggs first this game, by the way. I was really happy about this haste. Now that there's a fight for sure. Oh, this is... Blink, damn it. I thought I still had my haste here. I don't think he could see me. I think that was a blind hook. I was also very upset about getting hooked there. This guy like had my number. I was like, oh, curve back to left. He's not gonna expect that or something. I don't know. I should have made harder cuts maybe. Rather than like walking at an angle, I should just walk straight to one direction to like lower his chance. So I'd say like really good players don't hook you directly where you are. They'll usually choose a different direction slightly to the side, basically. I thought I had my haste there though still, but that was my fault for not knowing that. So if I knew that I didn't have my haste, then I would have just, or if I knew that I didn't have my haste, maybe I would have ran better. But that was maybe part of the reason I didn't juke as well. Because I thought I was going to blink past Scream and just run like crazy and go get a TP or run home or something. But my haste was long gone at that point, so. Almost got my ulti again though, and it's level 2 now, so it does 390 pure damage, which is huge. Again, the important part, and the reason it's so good against Dragonite is because Dragonites always build Black King bar. So me being able to get it is really nice. And at this point I was pinging for my teammate. I was like, team, somebody come, team come. Team, we can defend this. I have my ulti. Guess what happens, guys? About to get your hopes down. Because nobody ever came. I don't know why. It's like, team, they're pushing team. Oh my god, Pudge almost has the same net worth as me. It's disgusting. Disgusting. He's been playing well, but it's like, team, and guess what, guys? Fucking dead. Now, my team not showing up is not an excuse for me dying there at all. Me dying was really stupid and completely my fault and my problem. That was a good kill. But damn it, my team needed to show up, am I right? Didn't have any TP slots. Still working on eggs. Yeah, eggs is, and you know, and this is usually what happens to me when I play heroes like Queen of Pain. I have a pretty good laning stage, I get a lot of kills, and then I go to the mid game and all I do is gank. And I spend too much time ganking and not enough time farming. Because I still have 53 CS, right? Like, if we look at the CS total, I'm probably like way behind. But at first, I was like obscenely ahead. If I can, I'm not very good at this personally, but if I could better balance my farming with, I wanted to go for a kill maybe again. Again, always about killing. If I could better better balance my farming with my killing, then I could be in a, that should have been a stun. That was an easy kill. I was upset about that. If you can better balance your farming with your killing, you can go back from killing to farming and back and really fluidly, then it's going to increase your overall GPM. And obviously me dying to the Pudge is probably the main reason that I didn't get a lot of CS, because every time I'd respawn, they'd be in a place where they could probably push, you know. Ulti on 2 here. Oh man, guy denied himself again. Actually, don't know if my scream got him. Didn't look like it did. It's a good fight for us, though. Landed my ulti on 2 heroes. Pretty good. The way that I basically use Blink is I use it to position a line. So I want my ulti to hit 2 people, for example. It's a little scary to do it, but if you can line them up correctly, then it's very useful. And this will be my eggs. So my eggs is finished now. So what the Aghanim Scepter does for Queen of Pain is it gives you an ultimate every 35 seconds. Instead of 135. So it really decreases, 40 seconds, excuse me. So it's 40 seconds at all level. It's kind of been changed over time. The eggs used to just like gently reduce it as you leveled up, but once you hit level 16 you have a really low cooldown. But now it's at all levels. And it goes through Black King bar, so it's basically like if you buy eggs, it's good all game pretty much. Every time that you gank, you're going to have your ulti. Whereas before you would kind of have to rely on something like an Orchid and right clicks. So if you get Orchid and you jump on a Crystal Maiden, for example, and I silence him and I dagger him and I scream him, I just right click him until he dies. And that's a really good way to go about it. But if you're against a Dragon Knight, this is why I got Aghanim Scepter instead of normally, almost always you get an Orchid. But this game I got the eggs because I was like, it's a Dragon Knight. He's doing really well, he's going to get BKB, and then I'm not going to be able to do anything to him in team fights, and that's going to be really hard. So I thought I'll just get an eggs instead. That'll give me a lot more damage against magic immune heroes, and that'll help me scale better. So that was why I made this decision. It was also because I wanted to try the item out, but I actually had good grounds to do it this game. Make sure that you're making those decisions properly. It's really important. It's like there's like a million heroes top. I should have TP'd there, I think. You know what? I told them not to defend, that's what I did. They were like, oh, let's go try to slow it down. I was like, don't defend, they've got blink daggers, they're gonna kill you. You know what happened? They got killed. We lost 2 heroes. We actually can't see the Crystal Maiden here. This part was weird. I was like, why is there a scene here? I did see the hook come out from over here.
That was perfect.
It's pretty simple.
I do suffer fools.
That's a rage buyback, guys. Oh no, I missed the DD. Yo, I'm so curious where that guy was right now. I have to free cam, right? Is he Shadowblade? No, he just kept running. Alright, well, that was my bad. Too bad. I was into that regen though, that felt pretty good. At this point I thought BKB is definitely the item to get. The reason I was buying BKB next is because they have a stupid amount of stuns and magic nukes. Pudge is basically stopped from BKB. Crystal Maiden is completely stopped from BKB. Jakiro is pretty much stopped from BKB with the exception of Liquid Fire attack speed slow, I think. Bat Rider can stun me, but he can't do damage, and Dragon Knight cannot stun me anymore, but he can still right click. And part of the problem is that Dragon Knight's items were actually he was stupidly farmed at this point. Sanjin Yasha and a Shadow Blade and almost a BKB. Normally you don't have that much farm as a safe lane Dragon Knight, but he got so many kills that it put him in a really good place. So, my last hits are still pretty terrible, but they should increase a bit over time. Another problem with going Ags, by the way, is that you do not get mana regen over time. It's a little unfortunate. This is dangerous. Now, you might think that that was a little wasteful, but I didn't really think we were going to get any more kills out of it, so I just threw the ulti to secure the kill. And it's not that bad to do it. It's 500 mana, I've got a huge mana pool, it's a 40-second cooldown. This is why I bought the Ags, so I could keep just throwing ultis out blindly. I don't have to put as much thought into them. Look at that range. It's like so cool. It's so high. Level 4 dagger is really low cooldown. It does 50% slow at first. It does actually a lot of damage. It does 60 damage times 5, which is 400 plus. It's actually a 525 damage nuke. It's actually really good. Really, really good nuke. Yeah. Pretty good cast range. Really low cooldown. You can cast this multiple times in a team fight. Stack if you can, by the way. Whenever you're about to go back to heal, it's really good to stack camps and use your mana on the jungle. The only downside to the sonic wave change is that when something goes from magic damage to pure damage, you have to balance it around the heroes. So the damage that it does is balanced around me using it against heroes, but the thing is that if you use it against creeps, normally a magic spell does a lot more damage to creeps because creeps don't have magic resistance. So because of that, your ulti does a lot. You can't farm with it, basically, is the issue. I had a dust here. I was thinking about going in. That was really good. Oh, this is not good. Well, the problem there was that I ran out of mana. I didn't tread switch. I wasn't looking at my mana before I blinked, so I blinked with the expectation of screaming and continuing to run, but I didn't have the mana for it. And then when I tread switched finally, I got the kill, but it was too elaborate. Look at that damage. Yeah, so that's entirely my fault. I should have been watching my mana, and I also should have been bottling up during that fight. There's no excuse to have a full bottle at the end of a fight when you die. There were definitely a couple times where I could have been bottling, and if I would have been doing that, there's a good chance I could have gotten that Jakiro and then run away. If I get some space between them and me and I don't get hooked, then I can just wait 6 seconds and I can blink again. There's no way they can catch me, so. At the very least, it would have allowed me to probably defend that tower, or at least make them feel like they couldn't do a good job defending that tower. Or taking that tower, that is. That Dragon Knight's 18-4-4, by the way. It's very peculiar to see a Dragon Knight doing this well, by the way. It's basically because he got fed so bad. Alright. It's also really important that you look into their movements and think about it. I figured the Pudge was over there still, because he had daggered, so it may seem like a waste to just solo ulti him, but remember that it does pure damage, which means Quap is way better against Pudge than she used to be. In the past, all of her damage would be reduced by things like Hood and Flesh Heat. He actually doesn't have any magic resistance other than his base, and he bought back once, so he kind of wasted a lot of his net worth, which is why his net worth is going nowhere now. It's another issue with Pudge. He really doesn't snowball very well, unless he goes insane on his snowball. So the guy did a really nice job catching up, but he's kind of thrown that away now. He was trying too hard to like hook people into trees, and I would just kill him basically. You don't really want to trap yourself. It's kind of a gimmicky play. So got BKB now, which means my team fights are going to be even stronger. If I blink in and do something dangerous, I can go Magic Immune afterwards, which at the very least will prevent Dragon Knight from locking me down, and I should be able to do whatever I want unless I get Flaming Lassoed. At least that was my thought. when I was going into the game. Next item that I'm probably going to be making, I think I got... I'll talk about that when the situation comes up that influenced me. At this point, you either buy a Hex, or you buy Shivas, or you buy a damage item. An Orchid is still applicable if it fits the situation. If there's a hero that I'm having a lot of trouble, like if I was against a Storm Spirit or something, I would have to get an Orchid or a Hex because I need to prevent them from just balling away, because a hero like that can easily get away from me. But all the heroes in this game, they don't have any castable escape mechanisms or invises or anything like that. So I'm fine just going team fight, basically. This game is all about team fight. But grabbing a Sheep is always going to be good, essentially. Shivas is good because it gives you an AoE. It's like we lost more people bottom. I don't think my TP was a whole lot closer, but I thought I'd try it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'm guessing that he ran over here and then he TP'd far away, so what happened? I think my BKB was actually a waste here. And I don't think I was going to get that kill. The BKB was a bit of a waste. And I wanted to kill him really fast because I knew that... I think I didn't bring my dust with or something, or I gave up on the dust, I can't remember. But I knew the Dragon Knight had a Shadow Blade, so it's really important that I killed him. And then I was like, oh, the Pudge is still here. I kind of wanted to go for him, but actually, well, there it is. I don't know, guys.
Specialist.
I was going to say I wanted to go for the Pudge, but I don't have enough mana to deal with him. But he actually walked straight into me, assuming that I was gone. So he kind of just fed me a kill there. That was probably a lot. That was like 500 net worth or something that he gave me. It's basically a Mystic Staff. Now, if you don't necessarily know what you want to buy, you can just buy the Mystic Staff and leave it at that. Sit it in your inventory. It's pretty okay just to do that. Increases your damage by 25 and gives you more mana regen. Gives you a big mana pool. And you can build whichever way you need. Again, Hex or a Shivas. Now, the circumstances that you want to get each item. Again, if you need Lockdown, Hex is amazing. If they have BKBs, Hex is amazing. Because you can blink Hex before they BKB. And then you cast all your spells. Not that that matters as much as it did in the past. Because you can use Sonic Wave whether or not they have their BKB up. But you still have things like Dagger... Scream of Pain, and your allies are always going to have follow-up stuns and things like that. So, having a Hex, if they have BKBs, is oftentimes the right choice, if you're not worried about your personal survivability. That fight looks really lost.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, such a little death.
Can almost one-shot the CM. It's pretty close.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I just thought it was okay. I could have farmed there during this moment, but instead I went back to base, and that's maybe a mistake by me as well. I could have set myself up in the jungle to prepare to farm, and instead I wasted like 30 seconds. I did that too much as Queen of Pain, I think. I'll like accomplish something, then I'll go back to the fountain just to get a bit of mana, and then I'll go back out into the map to farm. But I could have been farming these neutral camps. Like Sven could have been hitting up the 3 on the left, like Sven could have gotten all 3 of these camps, and I could have gotten these 2 camps, for example, in the meantime. And yeah, my mana would have been a bit lower, but I could have gone to heal after that, you know? It's like, if I still have 80% of my mana pool, I think I did it again here. I was like, let's just go heal again. I don't know why I did this. That was really stupid. This is not okay. This is honestly not okay at all. It's not efficient. Even with your long blink range, like going back to base and wasting this time just for a couple more bottle charges is just such a waste of my time. I think we saw that they were there. So I told them not to be there. Oh yeah, I was talking about what you can infer a long time ago in the teamfight in the jungle. That one time where we saw the CM like way out of position here, and the rest of their team was here. That means they're obviously warding. And in pubs like these, it's very, very easy. Like even up to my MMR right now, I'm playing at like 5k solo MMR. It's so obvious where people ward. People like only ever ward the common spots, almost always. They will ward this higher. Look at this. Wow, they went into our jungle. I wonder where they put their ward. It's on the high ground. It's almost always there. Oh, where else do you think they warded? There's basically 3 spots. If you're worried about dewarding your dire jungle, you deward the high ground, you deward this spot right here, and you deward this spot. It's one of those 3 spots guaranteed. It might also be on this cliff here, but that one's a little bit less common. Like, it's literally this spot, or this spot. It's so simple to deward, and don't be afraid to do it. If they move into your jungle like that, it's obvious what they're doing, and go take the ward down. Because if they have those wards up, it gives them way too much information about how to get ganks off and things like that. But this is a little bit dangerous. So I saw them shifting over, right? I saw the CM over there. If I can see them moving back and forth, this gives me information about whether or not I can continue to split push. Unfortunately, we lost the Witch Doctor. And again, I'm going to what's the word? Posture to split push. I stayed a little bit too long here. I don't think I should have gone for that creep. Holy shit. If that guy was better, I would 100% be dead. I actually didn't even look at his blink. I was just like looking at the map or something when he did that. That guy, I should be dead. That guy should have lassoed me, and he should have pulled me into his team. I could have BKB TP'd, but they have Purge Bite that would go through BKB. Or damage. One of those options. So that was really dangerous. It's good we had a sentry there.
"'Tis mine."
It's an invisible man right next to us. I knew they were coming there, actually. Because I think they were sitting a bit farther back, and then they started approaching. Like, a lot of the times, I wasn't communicating very well about the danger that I felt to my team, and I should have been doing that better. Anyways, I ended up building a Shiva's guard. The reason I built a Shiva's this game over a Hex is because their Dragon Knight has a actually stupid amount of items. He has a Sanjin Yasha, a Shadow Blade, a BKB, and a Daedalus. His net worth is higher than mine is, despite my game going pretty well. So I actually need armor. Otherwise, if I get stunned once, he's gonna burst me down. So I really felt like I needed it. Cool things you can do with Shivas. As you're about to initiate, you start your Shivas. That way when you blink in, it expands. I think I got 3 heroes there. I forgot to BKB though. That was a really big mistake. So I lost a lot of HP from this. I lost a lot of HP. Could have been fighting this whole time. Oh, he had a Bloodstone. That's why I got healed. I was like, why did I get all this HP? So the fight went okay. I was a little hesitant. I should have gone faster there. That was my fault. I think somebody called go, and it wasn't me. So I was expecting to look for an opportunity, so I didn't see it as fast as they did. That was my bad. But I was slightly too late to ulti. I could have Shiva'd, screamed, and ultied them instead of just screamed and whatever else. I let him hit me way too many extra times. And look at this. I was actually stupidly slowed. I knew I was dead there. Like, I didn't think I was going to be that slow after the blink that he would be able to catch up. But he's Sanjin Yasha procced, and he had slow from his ultimate. Luckily for us, Dragon Knight is a lot worse after his ulti runs out, so... And a nice stun from the Leshrac, so we got that kill. Made it a little bit better. So if I knew in the future that I was going to be that slowed, if he has a Sanjin Yasha and he has his ultimate up, which is essentially an Eye of Scotty, a supercharged Eye of Scotty that disables bottles, then I would have blinked in the trees and teleported. That's what I should have done. I really hesitated a lot. I let him get like an extra hit on me before I blinked away. I think I thought about fighting him, then I realized quickly that I wasn't going to be able to. So... Luckily, our anti-mage was able to get experience from that kill, so it was okay. It was definitely a lot scarier than it should have been. Look how much damage anti-mage is taking right now. So this is why you don't try to kill anti-mage with 2 heroes that only do magic damage, essentially. It's just not a good idea, guys. I think he blinked kind of late. Oh, he actually didn't blink at all.
Cold as death.
Still got the kill though.
Dig that.
Alright, I'm finally alive. Hooray. At this point, you can sell your bottle. You can keep it as well. I decided to buy a gem. Because if I would have had a gem, I wouldn't have died to the Dragonite as well. And I thought I'd go around and de-ward all their wards. I don't actually know if they have wards. Let's check one of their player perspectives. They only have one ward, so this explains a lot. So this is going to make you really bored, because I'm going to run around the whole map and try to de-ward everything. I was like, I wonder if there's a ward here. I wonder if there's a ward here. How about here? There was no wards anywhere. Not there. They actually got anti-wage here, I was surprised. Alright, now I wanted to set a trap. This is a terrible idea, but it's kind of fun. I wanted anybody that comes right there to just die, but the Sven was a little bit out of position. Should have BKB'd. It's the point where we should run. Now they're gonna get cleaned up. We got the two squishiest supports that don't matter. That was a bit of a mistake. I don't know. That was like an execution problem on our team, and part of the problem is that I don't have it disabled, so I can't like take those advantages when we need to. I have to rely on the team to do it. But what I wanted to happen was I wanted to, like, where I was peeking out, I needed him to be stunned right there, while like Witch Doctor dropped ulti kind of. We needed the stun to be a lot more instant. And the other problem is that Purge is by far the tankiest guy on their team, even more so than Dragonite in some ways. So he's pretty tough. Ideally, it would have been somebody else, but it's just honestly that was just a bad call. That wasn't a safe call at all. There's a chance if we did it the way that I wanted it to happen, it would have gone well. But I should have been more realistic about that happening or not happening. So there we go, checking for ward, no ward there. No ward over there in that common spot. Let's look at an uncommon spot. Right over here. No ward. Sometimes you have wards placed right here. Right here. I like placing them. Sometimes people put wards right here. No ward there. I was like, alright, I guess there's no ward stop. Only other place there could have been a ward is in the lane, which is very, very, very uncommon, or right over here is sometimes happening. Like right here is sometimes a ward. I was like, any wards? Nope, no wards. So from there, your next ward spots are this hill, which I think I forgot to check. This hill here, and then that basically means that there's no wards anywhere on this side of the map. So it's like no ward up there. You can use that for vision, by the way. It's better to use your Shivas, in my opinion, than to blink up there for 6 seconds. Because if there is a ward, they'll know that you're there, and then they could hook you down or jump up on you, for example. So it's basically, that's why I drew. I was like, there's nothing there. No wards. They're not very good about warding, apparently. Let's see what they got. They actually have 2 wards. This ward is terrible. Do not place this ward. If you have both tier 2 towers up, or yeah, if you have both tier 2 towers up, there's no point to place this ward, in my opinion. There's actually no point. It's such a huge waste. It gives you basically no vision. The only vision it gives you is if people are trying to sneak around your tier 2 towers. If you want to place that ward, you should put it over here. Much better spot. So we lost the Sven. That was a smoking. Checking for a ward again. Unfortunately, it looks like we're gonna lose anti-mage maybe. Okay, good. I think if anti-mage died there, we could have gone maxed. But luckily he didn't. So now we just have to kind of wait for the rest of the team.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That Dragonite looked all cool. He was like a purple dragon.
Dire's structures
So that was
are
so far okay.
fortified.
Our first fight went well. Switch out to bottle so I can get healed a little
Dire's
faster.
bottom tower is under
Then when I'm
attack.
done with that, swap it back, go back to fight. I've almost got my ulti again. And this is basically what you have to do if you're really far behind. Take the fight, take a good fight, delay as long as you can, get out, survive, heal, and then turn around and fight again. Because all of a sudden we're all full HP again. And they're still limited to what they were set at before.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So that was pretty good. I think my ulti was slightly too late. I could have ultied the Dragon Knight maybe, or finished him off a bit faster, but that was good. That was a really good fight from us. We basically got 4 hero kills plus an Aegis, and we lost 0 people. Like, it doesn't get better than that. It's basically because the Pudge blink initiated, because he was like, oh, I have Aegis, I can just jump in really fast. But because he jumped in so far, and the Radiant players were a little bit inexperienced, they funneled in basically. And because of that, I was able to hit like 3 people with 575 pure damage. It's basically like I did an AoE Finger of Death. It's a lot of damage. And apparently anti-mage is really hard to kill as well, so if he didn't take any damage, then it's a bad thing.
Radiant's
So.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's a bunch of dead heroes, so I felt like right-clicking the tower for a long time.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
If you ever get frostbite, just use Manta. There's no point to wait that
Radiant's
long.
bottom tower has fallen.
I think he took a lot more damage there than he maybe needed to. We can kind of pressure a little bit more, but as soon as Dragon Knight's up, it gets scary.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is not the fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That fight was big throw, basically. See, I felt the fight, so I went in, but then I was like, this is not actually the fight. I thought it was the fight, and that was not the right way to play. On the bright side, they didn't grab my gem.
Dire's top
He's got so
tower
many
is
items.
under attack.
Pretty much all purple
Radiant's
items.
middle barracks are under
Yep.
attack.
So yeah, that was pretty shit by me. I blinked in and I was ready to ulti, but I was like, none of these are good ulti targets. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped in. And then we lost towers
Radiant's middle
and
barracks
things
are
like that.
under attack.
So
Dire's top
that was
tower has
pretty
fallen.
dumb. Pretty dumb. Oh god. This positioning makes me uncomfortable. Lightning storm. Oh, that's so dangerous. He could have died right there with a stun. Dragon actually almost went back in there. Did you see that? So now we just gotta defend until I'm up in 20 seconds. Fuck you, Pudge.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has
Luckily, those two guys really overextended,
Did you say
so the supports got cleaned up right away.
Dire's top barracks has fallen?
Yeah, I think my BKB is a bit weak there. I don't think I should have Black King Bard there. I got a little too scared from the Dragon Knight. His stun is tough to deal with, but I think if they don't have like the Jakiro and the CM in the fight, I don't really need to use it. Unless they're all jumpy on me. But in like a retreat scenario like that, I think that was a big waste. I could have just saved it. See how fast you can farm with this hero? It doesn't have a Battle Fury, per se. But with the blink and all of the damage that you pick up from your items, it's pretty good. So I think I opted to get a Lincoln Sphere here. I don't really think this is the right choice. I think I should have made a Hex probably, because it helps us shut down heroes like Dragon Knight, but I opted to buy the Lincolns because it gives you some regen, it gives you some HP, not that I really need any of that stuff because all my other items give me survivability, but What the Lincolns basically does is guarantees that one of their stuns doesn't hit me. And if I looked at all the spells that they have, it'll stop Yules, it'll stop Lasso, it'll stop Dragon Tail, it'll stop Dismember, and it'll stop Frostbite. All of those things are really good against Queen of Pain. Like, they all shut you down hard. Lasso is rough. Yules will set up an Ice Path, which I can Black King bar. That's like the only thing that is kind of useless to block with Lincolns, but everything else is good. Dragon Tail's almost a 3-second stun. Lasso's like a 4-second stun. Dismember's the 3-second stun. Frostbite prevents me from blinking, so if I don't have BKB up, when I get frostbited, which is probably the only occurrence of that happening, then I'm gonna have a bad time as well. So Lincoln's is really good against the spells that they have, and that's part of the reason that I made this decision. The other cool part is that if I have BKB and somebody tries to lasso me, the Lincolns will still stop it. So I'm still magic immune essentially while I have my BKB on. So that's kind of nice. So at this point we have a dead anti-mage. He died pretty much for no reason, so we're just gonna sit in the base and wait for the opponents to come. We can see a couple on the map there. Once I used that Lincoln, I was like, oh shit, I might actually need this in the next 12 seconds. I thought we had a lot of time, but then they're at our base already. So we've been Rexed once. We almost got Rexed 2 times, so this is a little scary. There's a Mjolnir now in Dragon Knight. It's okay for me because if I have my magic immunity up with BKB, then the Mjolnir damage does nothing. So it's kind of a bad item scaling into the late game because of that. But as a whole, it's a really good choice on strength heroes. I don't know if he had AC. Did somebody else have an AC? You know, he should have built an AC instead of a Mjolnir, I think. Mjolnir's pretty good, though, on Dragon Knight, because you're really tanky as a hero. So if you put the static shield on yourself, you'll reflect a lot of damage, because you don't die very quickly. I bought some smokes here because I wanted to move out with the team, and I told everybody to group up and stay together. It's really important at this stage in the game, because if you lose a team fight, the game ends. If we're this close to getting Rex, like, it's so important. I was very happy that the Pudge took the Aegis because it's a lot scarier on the Dragon Knight. He's all of their carry potential, but he doesn't really have any slots, so I can understand why he didn't want to take it. This is a little scary. They're pretty far ahead. And there it is. I think I should have watched the fight a little more there. I wasn't too concerned about the Pudge. The Pudge himself does very, very little damage. I think that fight was largely won by Sven, actually. The Sven came in. I don't know, does he have a crit or anything? He actually does have a small crit. He came into the fight and they actually got cleaved down pretty fast. My ulti only hit the Jakiro, I think. My ulti was actually really bad that fight, I think. The fight was a team effort, honestly. That was a team effort. I think I shouldn't have ditched as bad. I should have thrown a dagger before I blinked out. I got really scared after the Dismember went off on me because I felt I was very vulnerable. But I should have thrown a dagger and then blinked. If I would have thrown the dagger, it would have lowered their movement speed. They would have been less mobile in the fight. I could have done, and it would have done decent damage over time. So Dragon Knight bought back here, which is good. And now our net worths are finally caught up. So with that buyback, he loses about 2k. So that was good. Good fight. My really high skilled last hitting ability. Let's see what the last hits really. I am decently high. I guess the Sven did a little better than I thought he did. It's the KDAs if you guys are curious. There's a lot of deaths this game. A lot of kills. 120 kills in 50 minutes. Holy crap. A lot of running at each other until we die. The Lincolns was actually pretty useful in that fight though. It stopped the Dismember. If I would have gotten Dismembered, I pretty much guarantee that I would have died. Because if the Dragon Knight just hit me for like 2 seconds, I think that would have added up to about 1,000 damage. I mean, maybe Anti-Mage could have gotten kills if I made that space was made. Unfortunately, I was nowhere near my team. I should be blinking. Well, looks like we actually won the fight and I wasn't even there. Anti-Mage did die for it though. Then I realized Dragonite had died, so no buyback for him. I don't think Pudge can buy back either, so that was good. Well done by your team. That was honestly not me. That should be pretty obvious because I wasn't there. I did a really crappy job running into the fight though. I was like, it's so far away, I won't be able to make it. See what I mean? Like before, when you have Eggs upgraded Sonic Wave, it would kill all the creeps. Because it did like 725 magic damage or something. Now it only does 575 to creeps, so take as many Raxes as we can. The final item that I would have gotten would have been a damage item or a Hex. Hex is pretty good because it gives you 35 damage, but you can always get like an MKB or something as your last item. That's really good as well. I really like the Eggs this game. I felt like it gave me really good value. Low cooldown, I could use it multiple times in a fight. I was really pleased with the Eggs pickup here. I should have gotten it earlier, and I shouldn't have died to Pudge so much. Like this, like if I went to die to Pudge so much, I forgot about that. I don't know why I ultied in such a weird direction. Why did I just ulti straight into the CM? I don't know. I decided to ulti up, and I completely whiffed it. But I'm glad that was actually the only ulti that usually I whiff a lot of Queen of Pain ultis in a game. I really do. So that was good for me. Only one. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. This game would have been a lot easier if I just didn't die to Pudge like 3 times in the early game. Pudge would have had no farm at all. They went to have that Blink Dagger relatively fast, and there it is. You can always BKB out of that. Super slowed. Yeah, I really shouldn't have died to Pudge all those times, but I did, and it made the game a lot harder than it had to be. I think we easily could have won this game if I didn't die to Pudge that many times. It would have been very, very simple. I would have gotten my Ags a little bit faster. I maybe could have one-shot CM or something. That would have been fun. Just comparing CM's or the blink range to myself. That was the worst. That was the worst AM ulti in history, I think. Good Hex. It's really high skilled ultimate. I mean, high skill fight, initiation, whatever you want to call it. Just gotta increase that kill tracker, guys.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Dire victory.
And that is it. So that's the new Queen of Pain. She's a lot better. She's a lot better against BKB heroes. Like another good example is like Luna, Dragonite, like heroes that in a lot of ways revolve entirely around being able to pop BKB in time. She's really good against them, basically. So that's why I was happy to play this game against Dragonite. The Dragonite got way too much, way more than he needed to. But the problem with Dragonite is that he actually peaks off pretty hard. He's not the hardest carry in the game. It's kind of nice having a Scotty for free with your ultimate, but if your ultimate isn't up, your hero is pretty bad. So one of the issues with the hero. So that's it. That's a Queen of Pain game. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.